Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we will learn how to create Active Directory site and services, why to create, and what is the benefits of creation of site and services in the Active Directory. So generally you see the companies are having multiple domain controllers at multiple sites, and every physical site they are using different network. For example, at one side they are using 10.10.10.0, and another side they are using 192.168.100.0 something, and another side they are using 192.168.200.0. So those companies are using different IP network at the different location, so that there should not be duplicate IP address in the environment, and they can make the seamless network communication, and computer and services can be authenticated by the nearest domain controller while we are using Active Directory or we are using Active Directory domain. So here you can see I am having four domain controllers. INDC from the name you can just identify, and this is my client PC. But in the actual you will see 500 domain controllers, 60 domain controllers, and 5,000 workstations, 1,000 servers, and many more. So it is very necessary to provide fast communication for each and every computer and services so that they can work easily. Just take the example or just take a look of this picture. In this picture, I have just assumed that I have one domain controller at Uttar Pradesh, and I have given the name of to the computer INDC, INDE DC01, and IP address has been assigned from this network 1.024 and IP address 1.100. Same way I'm having here in Andhra Pradesh, I'm having another domain controller. Name is DC02 and IP 2.100. Here, Rajesh, Maharashtra, I'm using IP address 192.168.3.0 oblique 24 subnet, and actual IP is 3.100, and this is my domain control name. Same thing is here. So that is just example for showing you, but companies are having more sites and different countries, a different region, and they are using different IP network subnet, and they are taking help from the network team so that every network address can communicate with each other. If you just create 4.0 and 1.0, two different subnets, and you are trying to communicate with each other, they will not communicate because they are having different network. And I have also created another video to understand why I'm saying okay, this is the different network and that is a same network. So you can just watch that. And I'm not using any firewall or router because this is my just test lab. So I have used another routing access feature, sorry, role from the Windows server, and I have also created another video. You can just watch that to understand how to use a Windows server as a router, or how to convert or how to turn your server into router. I will add that video as well. I'm just sharing the link for that so that video will be very less, otherwise it will be very lengthy. So here you can see we are having four different sites and each site is having one domain controller. Name has been given here and then a network address that I'm using also mentioned and IP address, everything is mentioned here. So now we just come back here. So as I said, CLS ipconfig space //or. This is the name of my computer, the domain controller, okay, and this is the IP 192.168.100 as I mentioned in this picture. Same thing will be there if you log into this one. See 2.100 and name you can see from here, or you can just run this command. And we can also see there are multiple ways to check the things. This is my Active Directory view is already open. Let me see what is coming. Okay. So I have also created another video in the PowerShell how to get the list, get the attributes of computer object and user objects. If you are new, you can watch that video. You will understand better. So if you see the output here, you can see I'm having three domain controller here, 1, 2, 3, and IP is the same that I mentioned you in this picture. Okay, and now you can see site default first site name, default first site name, default first site name. Okay, and you can see the same thing here as well, right? Name here, site name here as well. So once you create your first domain controller in your environment, something is also happening. What is happening? While promoting server as a domain controller, this Active Directory site and service is being created by default. I think taking time. Okay, came. And here you can see this site is being created automatically. And your first domain controller is being put in this location, and subnet is not created automatically. Any link is also not created. This is the only site link that is called default site link. Okay, here giving you some information, what is the cost, what is the replication value. So if you do not create or do not mention any subnet in the network or in under the active directory site and services, every domain controller that you are creating are being listed under your default first site name regardless of their physical location. You can see one is in Uttar Pradesh, second is in Andhra Pradesh, third one is Maharashtra, fourth one is the Rajasthan. So it is not moving them here and there. It is putting all the servers here because we have not defined anything. So, so what is the advantage or disadvantage of creating subnets? For example, I am having one computer which is lying in this location, okay, Maharashtra. So that computer can be authenticated by this server itself, and then can be authenticated by Andhra Pradesh, that can be authenticated by Nepal, sorry, UP, and that can be authenticated by the Rajasthan. So, but as a good administrator, you should think that if computer is being authenticated from the site which is really far away, definitely it will take time, right? So you should think that okay, instead of computer is being authenticated by any other location, far location, computer should be authenticated by only to the from the local site domain controller. But if you do not change anything here, you cannot control. So this is the reason that we need to define some site and subnet so that you can just tell Active Directory if some computer is coming from particular subnet, pre-check the subnet of the particular computer and from which site it belong to, and send or redirect this computer to the particular domain control which is having that particular site. I will try to explain later. So nothing is here. So first we will create some site. Sorry, site link. We create some site. So it is just mandatory to link it is somewhere. So we will link it to default site link, and later on we will change this. Or some companies are doing okay. They are changing this site to something else. For example, they are saying okay, this should be my head head office or branch office. Suppose I am saying okay, this is my head office. So I will just change it to, and I have given a name to my head office site is INUP. You can follow your naming standard carefully, but this is just my test environment, so I'm just doing this. And this link can also be renamed. I will just change it to INUP link, INUP site link, default IP site link. Okay, INUP link. So it is not mandatory to change. If you want, you can change it. So now I will just create one site here. I am having 4 sites, so I will create all the 4 sites here. INUP, and it is necessary to link somewhere, so I am only having this, so I will just link it here and change it later. It's not mandatory. Uh, okay, sorry. So I have already renamed this. So threes are remaining. INAH. Site INA has been created to finish conference of INH. Ensure INH link to the other site with the site link or as appropriate. Add the subnet mask for INH to subnet container. Install one or more domain controllers in INH or move existing DC into the site. So that is just information that is giving you. It means if you have created any domain controller and that was not part of that particular site, you can move them as well. So we will do the same thing. Another is INMA. I will also link this here and I will create one more INRA. INRA. INRA, INMA, INAH. So we have created four different sites and you see I have already created these three domain controllers. One is already at the correct location and DC02 should be moved to the INAH and DC3 should be moved to INMA. Okay. So now each site is having except INRA. So now we have created site and we have created, sorry, move them to the particular site, and now we are going to create some subnets. So new subnet, I am using one subnet 192.168.1.0.24, 192.168.1.0/24, and it links to my this site. Please remember, if you are not seeing under something under prefix name, it means you are not providing correct values here. INUP, and another one is 192.168.2.0/24. It belongs to my site INAH, and 192.168.0, sorry, 3.0/24. It is belong to my INMA, and there is one more. It is very lengthy task, and you should be aware or careful while doing all the things. Suppose you are having 500 sites, sorry, different sites are having different IP addresses or network addresses, and those are being covered by only 50 or 60 domain controllers. Then how you are going to get them authenticated? See, I told you that if you are not selecting correct here, it will not bring something under the prefix. So INRA. We have the subnets here, we have the sites here, we have domain controller here. INRA is not here. Okay. Deliberately, I did not promote fourth domain controller so that you can see what is happening actually. Now we need to create some links as well so that you can define which site will replicate with the which site. So here I am having INUP link, okay, and I will create, okay, I will just rename this again. I want to give the name this to INUP hyphen INA, INUP hyphen INAH, meaning site of these two domain controllers will replicate with each other. One more site link INUP hyphen INMA. So INUP, select the domain controller here, and INMA. Okay, and another one is INUP hyphen INRA. So what I am doing here, I am just trying to replicate my domain controllers, all the domain controller from my branch office. Okay, you can design something else. So this site is only having INUP hyphen INAH. So I will just remove this. So whenever something getting changed in this server INDC, it will replicate this change to this server and this server, and or I would say it will replicate the changes from site INUP to all the three sites. And anyone is and if anything is changing under INH or INMA, INRA, they are going to send this information to, or they are going to replicate that to the INUP. There are so many other components as well in the Active Directory site services related to replication. So that is also big topic. I will not cover those things here. I will try to create another video, but those are something practical that I wanted to tell you. So now you can see how to create sites, how to create subnet, and how to create site link, and how to add the computer which we are going to replicate. Here you can see. So you can give any other meaningful name, but it is just showing you, yes, this site and this site are going to communicate or replicate data. And Cost is almost 100, but replication you want to change, you can change it. So minimum you can change it to 15, and most of the organization is keeping to 15 minutes. Depends up to you how you are want to do, but you can't change 14 something. Okay, see, value must be at least 15, and just refresh this and see something change. Here you can see that subnet is showing under this particular site. Same way you can see here this one. So you can add multiple subnet to the site as well. It is not mandatory that only single subnet will be added. You can add multiple sites, sorry, multiple subnet to the single site. Now we have created nice now site and subnets properly, and before creation you were able to see that every domain controllers were showing here, right? But now I will create this server as a domain controller, promote this as a domain controller, and that will come under here INRA automatically. Here you can see, now we can see site's name have been changed as well. So let's promote this server as a domain controller. It should come automatically there. So I have already completed many things, like disable IP version 6, disable firewall. I do not recommend, but it is necessary to make the communication, or you need to open the required ports. I change the IP address, I rename the computer, I set the password for each domain admin accounts. I made some communication, some changes so that computer can communicate with other domain controllers. However, network address is totally changed from this computer to another computer. CONFIG. You will have to watch my 3-4 videos to understand better why I'm saying those are in different network, how I turned my server as a domain controller, and how to promote particular domain controller. So to just save the time, I'm just not including all the things here. But if you have any query, you can just put in the comment. I will try to explain. Add a domain controller to an existing domain. Yes, fine. Prakash is my domain admin, so it is also fine. It is not aware about the site. Just let me reboot this. I will pause this video. So system has been rebooted. Let me log in again. Actually, we created some site, subnet, and computer was not aware about that. So that's why we had to reboot this. Select this again. Add a domain controller to existing domain. Next. Did you see the magic? Under the site name, you are seeing INRA. It is very smart. It got the information from Active Directory site and services. Now it is aware from which site it belongs to. Before creating site and subnet, it was not coming here anything. Just default first site name. Now it is aware from which particular site it belongs to. Now there are two options: install from media or replicate from any domain controller. I have also created in one video how to create IFM and how to use that. That is also a good idea. But here I can choose any domain controller. Let me choose this. It doesn't matter for me because I am locally from all the 3 points of view. We can change these location if you want to, but I am only having single drive. It will prepare or check all the necessary information now. If all are fine, it is saying yes, green, and I will just pause my video and I will come back once this server is rebooted. So server has been rebooted. Let me log in again. If you go to Active Directory, domain controller, we can see fourth domain controller here. If you go to Active Directory site and services, it is taking time. Let me log in here till then. This is my workstation. This computer has been provided or mentioned the IP address from the subnet of 192.168.1.0. You can also see from here for all name, this one, okay, and if you type setl, that will tell you which domain controller has authenticated this computer. So that is the magic of creating site and services. Defining correct site and subnet is also very important part for Active Directory administrator. Fourth is here, and INRA. See, it is here. If we did not create any site and services properly, it should be here. So that's all for this video. If you have learned something new, kindly like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.